Okay, Saturday morning in the kingdom, and it's 10:30. We had one hell of a night, but the fires didn't come. Yes, the ex-wife fire did not come. Yes. All right, so it's 10:30 in the morning, day 6. I'm sober, and I found clean underwear. Yes, clean underwear. That was such a relief because everything is packed away. We can't unpack anything because we're going to leave. The ex-wife fire last night was supposed to arrive into WHO-ville, and the fire truck sirens were going off in WHO-ville. That was the evacuation notice. We were to everyone head up onto the mine tailing pile, which has been covered. So they figured that was the safest zone because it's a mined wasteland. There's no trees, no vegetation, nothing. So if you got 10 fire trucks heading that way, that was the cue. The fire had rolled in. It was supposed to be a big fireball backed by the winds and just roll into WHO-ville. But we don't know what happened. At 9 o'clock last night, the winds got up at 1 a.m. We were down fueling the water pumps and everything like that, and the wind was unreal. Felt like we were in Saskatchewan, but Wyoming for the USA members or viewers, yes, and it was unreal. So we woke up this morning. We basically collapsed about 4 o'clock or 5. I don't know what it was. We were keeping an eye on the skies because we were watching it over here. Yes, over here. So the fire was supposed to be glowing red in this area as it rolled into WHO-ville to wipe it off the map. But that didn't happen. Yes, it didn't happen. We didn't see the fire glow. We didn't see anything. And then the winds died down. Once the winds died down, we knew it was time to, relax or collapse and get the much needed sleep. So we woke up this morning. I think it was 8 I came to because the pumps had all quit and everything. And there was no fire. There was no wind, no nothing. So now we're sitting here wondering. So it's another day of not sure what's going to happen. Just like the ex-wife. Yes, the ex-wife. She would send out lawyer letters, tell everybody to be in court at 10 a.m. Tuesday. Because she's going to, make sure we pay dearly. And then she's stuck in traffic. Yes, she's stuck in traffic. So then the judge has to remand to another date. Yes, unreal. So this is the ex-wife fire. We had the fire over here on Thursday when we got back from our car camping trip. And then it was over here last night. So once again, the ex-wife fire lives up to its name. The 48 sedan delivery, I think with a 216 in it with 48 horsepower. Yes, we'll walk this way a bit. Ooh, look at that talent. I'm sidestepping as if it's a country western song. All right, so the 48 sedan delivery loaded with dogs and everything from the house and our food supplies. The 67 Chevy on the tow bar with everything of importance. Yes, all the external hard drives and everything for the books. My future books that I've written, everything's in the steel totes or job boxes. Yes, the yellow job boxes are in there covered in a tarp. So our whole life is based in these two vehicles. So we put 2 sets of guard dogs, 1 set in the white truck and the other set in here. Because these guys are rescue puppies or whatever, so they will, try to kill each other, not be friends even when we're evacuating. So we're ready. And poor Mini Ho. Yes, my Ho has never been outside in the rain. Never, never. Always been inside. But we can't have her inside because if the building burns, then we lose the Mini Ho. So sitting outside on the sprinkler spray pattern, getting wet is the best thing for that hoe. Yes, a happy hoe, a wet hoe is a happy hoe. But that's the thing is, without this Mini hoe, we couldn't dig our water sumps or control the water and keep the pumps going. All right. But we're also monitoring the tracks here because the fire burned this way up to the track bed. You have all those railroad ties been sitting there for 50, 60 some years. So when the wind is supposed to blow from the southeast that way, to hopefully keep the fire away from WHO-ville in the kingdom. So now we really have to monitor the tracks and those railroad ties. Yes, but we've done it before. We've had lots of fires down there, and that's the thing. We have to keep monitoring. So today is a day of maintenance. We got to check our dikes, our water systems, change the oil in the Honda knockoff pump. It's not a Honda. It looks like a Honda. It sounds like a Honda. Starts like a Honda, but it's not a Honda. So we got to do that. Today is a day of maintenance. Top up all our jerry cans, the gas cans, you name it, and get ready. Because the ex-wife fire will be coming back at us this way. Yes, this way. We're going to get it again. The ex-wife lives up to her name. All right, so hopefully we can do some filming today. We have no brain cells left over or anything like that. I don't know how people can go through life sober because we wake up in the morning. This is the best they'll ever feel. When I drink professionally, I feel like crap in the morning. But as I have a few drinks throughout the day, I feel better. Yeah. So day 6 and clean undies. That's the main thing.
made it up to Penners, no problem. There is some ash falling from the sky, but it's not too bad. Penners is no longer working. It was working yesterday, but we lost long distance on the phones there, so now Penners is not working. So we'll head back into the kingdom and wait and see what happens. Oh, look up above us. We got the bird dog out flying around checking the fire. Hopefully these guys bring the water bombers in. That way we can get this fire under control. I heard that it is up over there getting pretty close to Zed Lake, so all the guys are up over there fighting it. Now let's head back over to the kingdom and see what else we have to do to get ready for this.
Okay, the staff's just leaving the kingdom. She gave me an update on what's going on. The fire seems to be west of WHO-ville, but if the wind changes, it'll be right back. Just like the ex-wife with a new idea. Yeah, it's a new idea. And how do you say, psychologically take you out. That's what this fire is doing. Yes, we're all prepared and ready to go. All right. So we went to the card lock in town. It doesn't work because we couldn't phone long distance. And the reason I know we can't phone long distance because it's May 31st. And at the end of the month, I phoned Daisy May's escort to see what my bonus points are left or whatever like that. And see what the next plan is for June. So I knew there was no long distance because the phone company actually came on and told me that due to equipment malfunctionings, we can't call long distance. So hopefully, but also too, the staff did tell the town office that there is no long distance, so the card lock's not working. But that's the joys. We figure these things out, and you have to spread the word. We have jerry cans in the trucks. Okay, this is the way we're going to leave. If we have to leave in a hurry, like we did the other night to go car camping. Everything is in job boxes here. The yellow job boxes, my life, everything. Yes, yeah, and everything's in here. Okay, so we have these jerry cans. That is for us to survive. If we return back to the kingdom and it's gone, we have fuel or gas stashed in vehicles and tank sheds, everything like that. And if the gas station in town burns down, this is the only fuel we have. The staff has some over at her house and her other film truck. Yes, so this is looking good. For the first time being out of the kingdom, people were quite confused when they seen two vehicles painted the same and stuff like that. And they think it's kind of funny that the truck is being towed by the car. But that's the way it worked out. We had the tow bar here ready from when we towed that 69 from Alberta. So this works out good. And also too, it's a good thing we put the hitch on back to us to go out for us to go to Fox Mine on that little adventure with the drone. All right, so we return back to the kingdom. You have to stay focused, all right? So we had the jerry cans, everything in there. We're going to fill up the welder, the jerry cans, and the 38 GMC. But this is our staging area here. All right. We also found out too that the DNR lost a lot of jerry cans in the fire when the fire ran through some of these pumps and everything like that. So what they did was give me mixed gas, and then I dumped them into my jerry cans and gave them back their jerry cans so they can keep using them. I'm quite confident with the mixed gas. We have it, so we have to mark everything. And we put everything on a pallet in case we have to fire up the loader and get things moving. Also too, they gave us how to mix the fuel, because I could never get it right. So they told me 1 liter thingy into that, and it works out good. All right, so I just filled these jerry cans here. Everything facing that way is full. Anything facing that way is empty. All right, so we have the slip tanks up here. That is diesel, that is gas, and these are job box fuel tanks, okay? So they're actually in an L shape like this. They come down and go like that. So your tools and everything up here. So we put the battery there, because you got to remember, you're not always within a power source of who says it's going to be in a vehicle. So this worked out well. All right, let's put these tools away and let's go service the pumps. Okay, down at the tracks, when I came here in 96, we were loading rail cars of scrap at McVeigh. And then when we were finishing up, we were loading out in this yard here. This is a train yard of WHO-ville. So the tracks go into a Y right here. Hand and eye. Tracks go this way into a Y, so they can turn the train around to head back south to the paw. WHO-ville is right over there. The kingdom is right there, okay? And we can hear the pump from down at the lake by the hospital, so it's calm, it's quiet, but that's what we want. We don't want the raging winds. So in 2014, they got in a tax dispute with the town, and the railroad came along and removed the rails. So we're not paying for, how would you say, trackage in your town site. So now we have, how would you say, track bed, not rail yard, okay? So that was a little politics or whatever. So the fire came right up to here, but this is the problem we have here, all right? We have these ties are all lying in here. And that's the joys of the railroad. Back in the day, they scattered everything in everywhere, all over the place. Now they've changed their, how would you say, ways of doing business. They keep everything clean and tidy and look presentable. So we have to keep an eye on this kind of stuff. But they fly the helicopter over all the time and have the night visions or HOTS or infrared so they can see what's going on. And the joys of being down in the muskeg, back in the day when this was an active rail line, we were always down here because we lived right there. And if they were having track problems or needed a rail lifted, they'd come and get me and my little loader and we'd lift the rail up. But this is natural. So the last train was in 2003, but this has been a sinkhole ever since it was put in. But that's normal, that's Mother Nature. So it's sinking down and down and down, so we know where the water is. This is like a trough of water seam. All right, you can see it right there. All right, so that's why we know this is a good stream or a good pond to pump out of, because this pond is this little divot here is dividing the water hole over here we're pumping from, and we have the crossover over here. All right, I'll walk to the other side of the truck. Okay, I walk to the other side. Right down there, straight through, is the end of the line. That's where the so-called road to Thompson to the south is, and that's where the trains would have to come up this way and then back up through the Y. So here's the water hole we were pumping out of, okay? And there's our little muskeg trail or whatever with the mini hoe to get the water level down. And then we've been pumping across, and we know this is connected because of the divot or the, how would I say, deep sink right there, and then over here. So the fire burned right up. It's all burnt in here, but we're monitoring it. We have to keep an eye on it because that's what we do. All right. We've had other forest fires, everything like that. The Manitoba DNR conservation, whatever, has got so many fires and so much happening around here. Plus the province of Manitoba is basically on fire in the north. So we handle it. Yes, we take care of it like we have done in the past. All right. To get this little opening here, and the thing is I was down in this area back before the trees were, how would you say, grew up. So we've been down here with the loader, we know the ground and everything like that. So how would you say, I am an old guy, we have the memories or the experience. So we got in here yesterday, pulled out the trees we needed to get to the deep spot. We put them here, exposing the roots. Okay, so we didn't put them over there onto the ties. And then once we got the pump going, because these roots have hot embers, we soaked it down. All right, so we're doing an oil change on the pump here, the knockoff Honda. This is how you do it. The only thing we're missing is a spill kit. Like, we should have a spill kit, but right now we don't care. We're trying not to spill. That's why we have it on plywood. You have to have your fire extinguisher, your water, priming, and your oil, so you can come down, top up, and that's the way we do it. So over here, last night when the pump quit, I think at 4 or 3, all right, we had exposed the top 2 inches of that pail. So we had dropped this level of this pond quite substantially, which the pump had run probably 20 hours maybe. No, yeah, 20 hours straight. So that was pretty good. Also too, being able to have a break in the fire action, we can let these water levels seep up, because muskeg is a sponge. So if you drop it down here, the water will flow from all in here and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing. So today we have to get everything ready because the fire is west of WHO-ville, but if the wind changes, it's going to turn nasty again, just like the ex-wife. Okay, 3:30 in the kingdom, and I'm done servicing everything. Yes, we got the pump serviced, everything like that, and now we can relax. So you can see we put the clean clothes on. Look at that. And also too, Sir Rodney has these shirts, the wardrobe. And look at this, we'll do a dippy-doo. I got my go-to-town pants on. I probably haven't worn these clothes since 2022 when I went to court. I went on a trip south, yes. So I had to get into this 67 there, pull the tarp back, get into the steel job box, the yellow box, to get my clothes. Because I packed my good clothes for going to town, because in case we got evacuated, we'd be sitting in, how would you say, downtown Winnipeg, having fun. Yes, sitting in a motel room. But we don't do that, yes. So I got my clean clothes on because the staff's going to wear my wash and dry my other ones that I wore for, 6 days straight, yes. And I'm going to have clean underwear too. Yes, that's going to be nice. All right, so let's scroll a bit more. The welder's running because we've got to keep the fridge and, how would you say, beverages cold, which we're not drinking. But we got to do that and keep the hot water tank warm. Yes, got to keep that water warm. So when I do wash my hands and stuff like that, it feels good. All right. So we just ran the sprinklers for an hour. Yes, to keep the ground, how would you say, moist or whatever, because we know the fire is over here. All right, it didn't make WHO-ville last night or this morning, and the fire's over there. But the wind can change drastically and put it back into WHO-ville. Yes, the ex-wife's fire is appropriate name. Hold these lips. I'm gonna have a nap here while the staff washes my clothes. But this is how would you say? We figured we better get a video out to tell you that we survived the night, and it wasn't that was, how would you say, eventful as it was forecast. But we got hammers in the air. You can see it falling down there, or ash, or they call it, whatever. Just like when Mount St. Helens blew, what, 1980? Yes, I remember it well. All right, let's go have a nap, and we'll call it a day. And we don't know what tonight will bring, but that'll be in tomorrow's video, I think. All right, we better go, and we'll talk to you guys later. And thanks for your kind words and thoughts and everything to, how would you say, make us feel, how would you say, loved. Yes. All right, I better go. Here comes the boss.